$900 shoe can still make a man look awkward. A simple pair, chosen in the right shape and worn for the right occasion, can do the opposite. That is the difference between price and style. Old money dressing has never been about loud logos or buying the most expensive item in the room. It is about restraint, proportion, quality, and knowing what belongs where. For a man over 45, that matters even more. You do not need a crowded shoe closet. You need a small, reliable system, one pair for formal events, one for business casual, and one for relaxed weekends. We will start with the most formal pair, the black Oxford. The black Oxford. For the days that leave little room for error. The black Oxford is not the shoe you will wear most often, but when the occasion calls for it, very few alternatives look as correct. Its closed lacing construction creates a cleaner, more formal line than a derby. In black leather, with a rounded or softly almond-shaped toe, it works quietly beneath a navy, charcoal, or black suit. It does not ask for attention. It simply completes the message: prepared, respectful, and in control. Michael Reed, a 52-year-old operations director in Ohio, learned this before an important contract meeting. His navy suit fit well, his shirt was crisp, his presentation was precise. But the square-toed shoes he had owned for years made the outfit feel older than the man wearing it. The shoes did not change his ability, they changed the impression surrounding it. Before the next meeting, Michael replaced them with a simple black Oxford, polished but not overly glossy, with a slimmer toe and a balanced sole. He also shortened the trouser break slightly. Nothing else changed, yet the outfit finally reflected the same care he brought to his work. That is the proper role of a formal shoe. It should not create a new identity. It should remove the one detail that feels out of place. For a man over 45, comfort still matters. The toe box should allow natural movement. The heel should feel secure without rubbing. A beautiful Oxford that becomes painful after an hour will spend most of its life inside the closet. And this is not a shoe for every day. With faded jeans, light chinos, or a polo shirt, it can look unnecessarily severe. Save it for the moments that require clarity: a formal wedding, a funeral, a major presentation, or a room where your appearance should communicate respect before you begin speaking. The black Oxford will not make you the most noticeable man in the room. It will make sure you are never the man who looks unprepared. The penny or tassel. Loafer, the pair that does most of the work. If the black Oxford is reserved for formal obligations, the loafer handles the rest of a well-dressed man's week. A brown penny loafer is usually the safer first choice. It is simple enough for the office, relaxed enough for dinner, and polished enough for a client meeting that does not require a full suit. A tassel loafer adds slightly more character, especially with tailored trousers or a blazer, but the purpose is the same: to make everyday clothing look deliberate without making it feel stiff. Daniel Mercer, a 48-year-old architect in Seattle, once wore running shoes to a scheduled client lunch. His navy polo, stone chinos, and lightweight jacket were all appropriate. The shoes were comfortable, but their thick, athletic sole made the outfit feel more casual than the meeting itself. Daniel did not look careless. He simply looked less established than he actually was. At the next lunch, he kept the same clothes and changed only the shoes. A burgundy penny loafer, worn with thin navy socks, gave the outfit a cleaner finish. The difference was not dramatic. It was precise. His clothes finally matched the calm authority he already carried into the room. That is why the loafer becomes so useful after 45. It does not force you to dress up. It removes the one element that can make a mature outfit look unfinished. Fit matters more here because there are no laces to correct a poor shape. The heel should remain secure, the instep should feel supported, and the toes should not be compressed. Try them late in the day, when the foot is slightly fuller. A good loafer should feel easy, but it should never look accidental. The suede Chelsea or Chukka. For weekends that still deserve some care. There are days when an Oxford is too formal and a loafer feels too polished. A suede Chelsea or Chukka boot fills that space. This is the pair for a weekend drive, a country hotel, an outdoor lunch, or a cooler day when you want comfort without slipping into sportswear. Suede softens the appearance of the boot. It works naturally with denim, chinos, knitwear, and textured jackets because it does not carry the hard shine of formal leather. The Chelsea is cleaner and more minimal. Its elastic sides make it easy to wear, and its uninterrupted shape works well with dark jeans or tapered trousers. The Chukka is slightly more relaxed. Its short lacing system also gives more control over fit, which can be useful for a man with a higher instep or a foot that has changed over time. Choose brown, tan, or deep chocolate. Avoid exaggerated pointed toes, oversized soles, or anything that turns a quiet weekend boot into a statement piece. Practicality matters here. A modest rubber sole usually offers better grip than a smooth leather one, especially on wet pavement, gravel, or uneven ground. The heel should feel stable, and the front should allow enough room for several hours of walking. Suede does require care, but not constant attention. Brush away dust, treat stains early, and use appropriate protection before wet weather. Dirt is not patina. A worn, well-maintained surface can look better with age. A neglected one simply looks neglected. A good weekend boot allows a man to relax without looking as though he has stopped paying attention. It keeps the outfit comfortable, and it keeps the standard intact. The Wholecut. For the occasions that should feel different, the Wholecut is not the first shoe a man should buy. It is the pair to consider after the formal, business casual, and weekend needs are already covered. Made from a single piece of leather with very few visible seams, it has a cleaner and more sculpted appearance than most traditional dress shoes. There is nowhere for poor leather or an awkward shape to hide. When the proportions are right, the result is quiet and distinctive. When they are wrong, the shoe can look overly sharp or theatrical. In black, a Wholecut can work with a dark suit for an evening event. In deep brown or burgundy, it becomes slightly more personal and develops a richer patina over time. This is not the pair for an ordinary Tuesday at the office. It belongs to occasions with emotional weight, an anniversary dinner, a formal celebration, a wedding, a concert, or an evening when you want to look different without looking decorated. That distinction matters. A loud shoe asks to be noticed. A Wholecut asks to be understood. For a man over 45, that kind of restraint often feels more appropriate than obvious luxury. The interest comes from the leather, the shape, and the way the shoe has aged, not from a logo or an exaggerated detail. Fit should remain conservative. Avoid an excessively narrow toe or a sole that feels too delicate for real use. The shoe should look refined, but it should still allow you to stand, walk, and remain comfortable through the entire event. The Wholecut does not prove that you own more. It shows that you know when something more considered is appropriate. 4 habits that keep good shoes in service for years. A well-made shoe does not improve with age by accident. It improves because it is allowed to rest, cleaned properly, and repaired before small problems become permanent ones. The first habit is simple. Do not wear the same pair 2 days in a row. Leather absorbs heat and moisture during the day. Giving it time to dry helps the lining recover and the upper return closer to its original shape. The second is to use shoe trees that fit correctly. They help reduce deep creasing, preserve the toe shape, and draw out residual moisture. They should support the shoe, not stretch it. An oversized shoe tree can distort the very shape you paid for. The third is to treat each material correctly. Smooth leather needs dust removed, occasional conditioning, and a light polish when the color begins to look tired. Suede needs a proper brush, early stain treatment, and protection before wet weather. Products designed for polished leather should never be used on suede. The fourth is to repair the shoe before it appears broken. A heel that begins to wear unevenly can affect the way you stand. A sole that becomes dangerously thin can damage the structure above it. Loose stitching and dry leather are easier to address early than after months of neglect. This is where quality becomes practical. A shoe that can be rehealed or resoled does not need to be replaced every time one surface wears down. Over time, the ability to repair matters more than the name printed inside. Patina is not dirt. A crease is not failure. But a neglected heel, cracked leather, or a sole worn past its limit is not character. It is delayed maintenance. A good shoe becomes part of a man's history only when he gives it the chance to last. A shoe closet that reflects the man you already are. Michael did not become a better executive when he changed his shoes. Daniel did not become a more experienced architect when he replaced his running shoes with loafers. Their ability was already there. Their clothing simply stopped sending the wrong signal. That is the real meaning of old money style. It is not about wealth, logos, or owning the most expensive pair in the room. It is about restraint, good proportions, appropriate choices, and buying fewer things that can serve you well for years. A mature shoe closet should work the same way. Each pair should have a clear purpose, fit comfortably, and improve with care, rather than depend on constant replacement. The goal is not to look richer than you are, it is to look considered, reliable, and at ease in the setting you are entering. Which pair do you wear most often, and how long have you owned it? Share your answer in the comments. If this video was useful, like it, share it, and subscribe for more practical guidance on dressing with confidence and purpose. Old money style does not create character. It allows character to speak without distraction.